You shall come to know us as After Credits, the Movie Slayers. But until new releases are the norm, you'll be getting more Avatar. And if you want to support us during these strange days of 2020, you can visit us over at patreon.com/WassesCast Productions. For less than the cost of the moon, you can support our show. That's early episodes, bonus content, and exclusive episodes just for you. Don't get lost in a fog on these deals. That's patreon.com/WassesCast Productions. Enjoy the show.
Is it stealing if it was already stolen from someone else to start? We're going to find out in today's episode of the After Credits Cast, the only film podcast to preach moral lessons from the mid-2000s kid shows. I'm your host, AJ Waseska, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan Metters.
Boy.
God told him to do it. And our guest this week... our guest this week is Chaz Mockever, and, of course, Nicole Mendez.
Of course, God told me to do it.
Shit was last week, y'all. Y'all gotta let it go.
God still told me to do it, Ryan. He works in mysterious ways. What can I say?
I don't know.
Well, and speaking of mysterious ways, you should find yourselves over to our Patreon page. You should go down to YouTube's, the links down below, including Pippa, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio. You can also find us over on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you want to email us directly to tell Ryan why God told you to do something, Ryan, what is that email?
That email is, if I can create a new bit for each and every one of these, and so can y'all, at... Excuse me, I'm sorry. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. I say this every time, but I still think you're making out Pippa.
I don't think I am.
No, I think it's a long-running joke.
It's a really good joke, then.
Talked about this. We are a Pippa exclusive podcast. Mm-hmm. They paid us just like Spotify did with the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yep.
See,
it's where we're gonna read all those fanfics.
The thing is, they didn't pay me in money. They paid me in rupees, which I don't think is a real money.
I think it's bad.
I have a bunch of pots filled with them, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, so I have to go break them.
No, don't break my pots.
I'm going right now. Stop. I'm going.
Well, I have no transition.
God told me to do it.
I have no transition for this. So today we're doing two Katara-centric episodes, starting with episode 9, The Waterbending Scroll, which premiered on April 9th, or 29th of 2005. It was written by John O'Brien and directed by Anthony Leoy, there we go. Extra L there for some reason. His last credit before going to direct American Dad. With animation by JM Animations. The cast includes some new faces this week, including Jim Meskimen as the Fire Nation soldier, Byron McKittrick as the pirate barker, and Jack Angel as the pirate captain.
Nice.
Did I have any names for last week? I guess not. Pretty sure I did. So Ryan, you have some fun facts for me?
I do. Prince Zuko makes a deal with the pirates to track down their scroll in exchange for their help in capturing Aang. Coincidentally, Dante Bosco, the voice actor for Zuko, played the character of Rufio, the leader of the Lost Boys in the movie Hook. Sorry, I just had to. Last fun fact for this one. This is one of the few episodes where graphic censoring is done. When the pirates are riding away in Zuko's boat, one of the pirates is about to drop his pants to Moon Zuko. The first instance of censoring was in The Water Solstice Part 1, The Spirit World, where Iroh stands up from the hot springs naked and Zuko's hand censors his uncle.
Yes.
Rightfully so.
My sadness, Ryan, no!
That's when Ryan shed a single tear.
One single tear.
Yes. You'll need one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a synopsis here for you guys. You guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Having received Roku's warning about the impending CBS comet, Aang is panicking. Katara tries to teach him basic waterbending, which he is a natural at, causing her to get jelly and make bad decisions like stealing waterbending scrolls from pirates. Incidentally, when Zuko and Iroh arrive at the pirate mercantile, the pirates tell their sob story and Zuko hires them to hunt down the gang. As the two benders attempt more waterbending, Aang continues to excel, but Katara can barely word. She tries to slip away to solo practice, only to be damsel in distress by Zuko. The pirates get a hold of Sokka and Aang, and a trade is brokered until Sokka claims Aang is worth way more than what Zuko's offering. Fighting happens, causing the ships of both Zuko and the pirates to go over the waterfall. The gang escapes, and Zuko is fierce as uncle for the time wasted.
And once again, Sokka is the hero.
Yes.
Sokka's best boy.
He is best boy.
I want to get a tally of just how many times Sokka saves the day.
It's a lot. It's most of the show.
Yeah.
It's a good amount of the show, man.
Like, I'm looking at my notes, and I just have here, like Katara being salty and just thank you, Sokka.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Next episode is gonna be like my biggest complaint. But yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be great. That'll be great.
But
Katara, her character in the first season is just
what
miserable.
character?
So
exactly.
So I think Katara. So we'll get to that question here first, then I guess. The question is, was Katara right to be a Jelly of Aang? Why? Why not? How does it fit into the season 1 arc of her character? So I wanna jump in. So I think season 1 is a good example of the show trying to find its footing, because as we discussed, I think in one of the previous recordings, they had a set idea of what they wanted the show to be, and then when they were given the order for more episodes, they just threw filler everywhere. And I think this is probably an example of that. And what you have basically is these episodes where the characters act a little out of character. I've got a good example or two for Aang in particular, but for Katara, I think this kind of fits her a bit, where she just gets mad jelly at Aang for being the Avatar, I guess, and just
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like imagine trying to like wanting to learn like waterbending for years and trying to do something with it, and then this kid shows up 2 years younger than you with no experience in waterbending and gets it in like 5 minutes. That would be a little frustrating. Like that's justified.
Maybe, but to be fair, he's already mastered airbending, and so he's already got like bending experience in general. So picking up the other elements, to at least one that's like as closely related to air as water is, shouldn't be too tough for him.
He's also, I don't know, the Avatar?
He's also God. Like,
yeah.
She's also 14 though. Let's not be too harsh on her for having.
That's true. You remember what it's like to be a 14-year-old girl, right, Aaron?
Damn, I got hit hard there.
Yikes!
Everybody gets one.
Yep.
Oof.
Tell him, Ryan.
Yeah. I've gotten 7, so you can have one. This is fine.
I think Chaz is next then.
Wait, what did I do?
Oh, I'm coming for you.
Oh no, senpai, no.
It's fine. I have some tea for you.
I like tea. Yes, girl, spill the tea. Yes.
But so how this fits into her arc, though, I don't feel like this episode really does. You know what I mean?
No. No, it doesn't. God.
I mean, you mentioned how there were a couple of filler episodes that felt like they were added simply because they asked for more.
Yeah.
More episodes. This one, like, while we've had some episodes that you could call filler, like they still like built the world before this and like added important parts to the story. This is one of the first ones that really feels like actual filler to me.
Yeah,
personally,
I would agree.
There was only one part that I don't think was filler, and that was
Pie
my
show?
cabbages.
Oh, my cabbages.
My cabbages.
My cabbages.
I was gonna say the pie show bit because I think that's important for season 2 when we get there.
It is.
That is also true. Yeah.
Yeah, that White Lotus tile, man, you can't go anywhere without that.
Yeah, like have to get a new one.
Like I would agree with you, but the fact that the White Lotus tile was literally in his fucking robe the whole time.
Yeah.
Bruh.
That was a little
It's
weak.
it's a fun way to mention the White Lotus tile and be like, oh well, the White Lotus is a really important piece, and woo 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 woo. But it's just enough to be considered foreshadowing, but it's still like largely irrelevant.
I don't know. Knowing Iroh, I think he pulled a sneaky on Zuko.
To what end, though? Like, what was his whole end game?
Oh, teaching Zuko the value of friendship or something. I don't know.
What?
Value of Paisho.
The value of Paisho. There we go.
So Iroh tries to teach Zuko the power of friendship, and Zuko says, "All right, I'm going to make friends with these pirates."
Exactly.
And then betray them immediately.
Yes. And then Iroh dumps on all of them.
Zuko's not very good at making friends,
although,
Ryan.
to be fair, it's the pirates that betray him. So.
But like, it's immediate. Like it's
Right?
not like a 2 seconds, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna betray this boy."
Well, guys, listen. If someone offered
Like,
me
it's
a
not
bunch
gonna
more
happen.
money to do a podcast with them instead of you guys, I'd probably have to take that deal. It's a lot of money.
Wow.
I do have one question about Iroh, though. So when they are taking all of his stuff that he's bought back to the ship, he mentions a music night. So I started thinking, what other nights do they have on the ship? It's like, I have some questions. Is there Pictionary? Do we have a game night?
So there's 7 days
they
a week.
have the Pie Show night.
There's 7 days a week. We gotta figure out what each of these nights are. We have a music night. There's clearly a pie show night. We know that much.
Yeah, clearly.
What was the other one you said? Pictionary?
Yeah, Pictionary.
I think just a general game night, maybe. I don't think they do Pictionary every night. Pie show gets a dedicated night because Pie show's important, but every other game,
yes,
every other game.
I want to see that interaction. How Iroh tries to drag Zuko into it.
Do you think Iroh has a D&D night?
Oh, that'd be great.
I
want
would
to see Zuko play D&D.
absolutely play a game that where Uncle Iroh was running D&D. Oh my god,
dude, he would be such a good DM though.
Oh my god, yes.
He'd make Matt Mercer look kind of like shit.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Iroh is the daddy of DMs. Let's be real.
Oh. And we're referencing Iroh being the daddy a lot, and you know what? I'm not mad about it.
Man, these 2 episodes have gotten a little out of hand for me. They've gone way in some strange directions.
You brought me in. What did you expect?
You know, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Plus, also, Iroh is pretty daddy.
So did you all enjoy the pirates at all? Yay, nay?
At all what? Sorry.
Did you all enjoy those pirates at all? Yay, nay?
I thought they were fun.
Really. No.
I thought they were enjoyable.
I liked their weird lizard parrot. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was the only cool part of them.
Like Momo got to have a chase. That was fun.
I mean, I wasn't too interested in their character, and because I think the issue is that you can tell that they're filler characters. Like, sure, they come back for like 2 seconds later on in the show, but like, I mean, you could have literally had anybody else there, and it would have done the exact same thing. So it's not like I'm invested in their characters at all. So I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I think they have a little more. They have a little more impact in the fact that there can be pirates in this world. Like, them as specific characters, as a specific group, I don't really care about, but the fact that there can also be pirates in this world makes the world a little more interesting, but it's not super important for me.
So, an idea I just had, it makes the world feel a little smaller, but I like the idea it is. What if Zhao had hired Combustion Man to kill Zuko, failed, and then Zuko hires Combustion Man later to do basically the same thing for Aang?
Yeah.
Well, if Zuko could beat Combustion Man in season 1, then Combustion Man would look like weak as hell.
Well, no, he didn't beat him. Combustion Man just thinks he's dead, and it's like, okay, job's done. I'm out of here. Like, this is Combustion Man when he's, like, just starting the trade. And then, like, end of the summer, he's like, hey, I've gotten pretty good at this. You want to hire me, Prince Zuko? I'm sorry I tried to kill you, but hey, we're cool, right?
You cool now?
Cool, fam. Got you, dog. I don't know. I think
I think you gotta save combustion, man.
Yeah,
I think you gotta
but,
save
like-
Yeah, you can't just break it out right there.
I'm trying to think but you could have had anybody that they've gone up against. I mean, you could have had like the Rough Rhinos for all I care.
You could have had the
Granted, I
boulder.
think that's season 2. But like
No, we can't have the boulder, not yet.
the Boulder
You gotta
is
save
feeling conflicted. Yes, but like you could have had anybody that they've gone up against. I mean, you could have even had like some random unnamed Fire Nation soldier do it. Like it wouldn't have. At no point was I ever invested in these pirates or their story or like anything about the characters except like, oh, pirates, fun. Pirate go ahoy, matey.
We hired the
Like,
cabbage
that's
merchant to
really
kill
like-
Zuko.
Yeah.
No,
I
that's
did
too
not
much.
I did not care for the pirates at all.
Yeah, they're a little lackluster. How does it seem overly convenient to you that Iroh and Zuko always seem to find Aang somehow?
That's the power of Iroh.
But it's like they just walk into a shop and they just sort of like they're looking for something completely unrelated to the Avatar, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, hey, we just talked about some bald kid and his tattoos," and Zuko's like, "What? Where?"
Yeah, because God told Iroh to go to that shop.
No, they shared a Palpo fruit. Zuko and Aang shared a Palpo fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody played Kingdom Hearts? No.
Mhm.
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
Alright.
That's another fanfic.
I'm not a Squeenix guy. I don't follow their games very often unless it's Chrono Trigger.
There's a fruit that it's in the lore of the game. If two people share the fruit, their destinies become intertwined. So that was the meme that I was making.
So are you saying that you and I have eaten this fruit, considering how many things we have going on here? Because I feel like that's what's going on.
Yeah, much.
But
Okay, Aaron, was that the thing that we ate back in high school?
maybe. God,
It's
it was that weird purple thing.
Yeah.
it's yellow actually, but that's fine.
Yellow, purple. I'm colorblind. I don't know what it is.
Fair enough.
But I think it's just one of those contrivances for like a filler episode where the villain finds the hero wherever they're at. Just fucking Zuko throws a rocket, skips across the lake, and oh hey, look, there's the Avatar. Found him.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
There he is.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But I mean, also the crew is kind of easy to spot. Two kids dressed in Water Tribe garb, and then a bald monk.
you wouldn't. They could be
Yeah,
anybody.
They're not really traveling on the DL.
They could be anybody. What about that flying bison though?
Yeah,
Right? That could be anyone's flying bison.
Oh yeah, no, that's Steve.
That's just a wisp of cloud.
That's Steve Hotman. That's his flying bison. He stole that from an Airbender years ago.
See.
Final question for this episode. When people who find out about who Aang is, why does anyone hesitate to collect that bounty for themselves?
I think it's primarily because there's still a lot of resentment at the Fire Nation for.
But like, if
trying
the
to take
Fire
over the
Nation can
world.
like roll
So-
bankroll you for life, like would you not take it?
There are some people who would. There are
That's
some
fair.
people who would. There are some people who are like, oh, this is the kid that's supposed to end the reign of terror that's been going on for a fucking century. Maybe I won't turn him in.
Well, here's a question for everybody. Okay, so you're just vibing in your village. Kid comes up with his two friends and an air bison. He's like, "Yo, I'm the Avatar." Do you turn him in?
Well, wait. Do we know if there's a monetary reward at this point?
Yeah.
Do we know how much it is?
A lot more. Like you're living in a village. It could set you up for life and probably your kids.
Okay. I'm very tempted.
All right. Well, I know my answer. I would take it.
You would take it?
I tell him
I
that.
probably wouldn't,
in a
to
heartbeat.
be honest with you.
I wouldn't.
Wow, gonna make me look like the villain here.
Did I make you look like a villain?
God
Yes, you
told him
did.
to
You
do it,
always
Nicole.
did.
I wrote
God
down what you were
told
going
me.
to say. I wrote down what you were going to say before
did.
you said it, Nicole. I absolutely knew you would turn him.
You did. You did.
I feel
God told me to do it.
like I make a game out of it. I challenge Aang to a Duel Monsters game, and if I win, I turn him in.
Well, then he just
Okay.
goes to the Shadow Realm.
No, if I lose, I go to the Shadow. If he loses, then he goes to the Fire Lord. That's how that works.
Oh, oof, yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I gave him a fair
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah. A lot of things could be solved with a children's card game.
Yeah.
What? I mean, listen.
me
Or
wrong.
you play him in a thing of Uno. You know what I'm saying? You know, get him with that
Still a
draw
children's
forward.
card
all.
game.
Hit him with that reverse, man.
Do you think this is bending the four elements
yeah.
translates to the four
That's
colors
you,
of Uno? I wonder if that's the case.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
so now I need a bending card game that's based off the rules of Uno, except it's water or yeah. I just
So wait,
need-
are
I
the
need
wild
that.
cards the Avatar state?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Yes. Perfect.
Perfect. Copyright
And
it
the
right now.
and then the draw 4, is like the Avatar state in season 3 when he literally just beats the absolute piss out of somebody.
The question is,
I like that.
which copyrights are the ones you're infringing on? Are you copyrighting infringing on Avatar, or are you copyright infringing on Uno? Or is it
All
going to be
of
both?
them.
Well, D, all the above, Aaron. Come on.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go to jail for something good.
Wait, oh my god. So is the skip card a chi blocking move because you can't
Oh,
Yes.
you can't bend that
It's
turn?
May.
Ryan, why are
Or
you
Taibi,
not making
excuse
this
me,
game right
Taibi.
now?
I don't know, man. This is how I'm gonna make my money. Damn.
See, he doesn't have to turn in the Avatar. He just makes a card game to beat the Avatar.
Yeah,
Get
I
music
make a
There
card
we
game
go.
based on the Avatar, and I cut him in on the profit.
Forget school, forget music, forget doing your actual job that pays your bills. We are developing a card game that will put Ryan in jail. Because
Why is that
Yes.
your aim? Why is that the goal?
Yes. I will testify in court saying that Ryan,
it was Ryan's idea.
it was Ryan's idea. He talked to God and said that God told
God
him to
said
do
it was okay.
And I quote. I have a recording of him right here saying God told me to do it.
God, I'm gonna piss myself. That was good.
So
well,
we were actually talking about a show, right? Because I feel like we're not anymore, and that is the antithesis, or that is the thing about this episode is that,
yeah,
I mean, like, what's there to talk about?
We get
Like,
more excited about a hypothetical card game than the actual episode.
I mean, but it's a card
Yeah.
game though, Nicole. I'm always excited about that.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
But like that's what I'm saying is like, yeah, sure, there's pirates, and they could have I mean, I guess they could have, but you could have capitalized on that for more world building later on, like real world building, like real. But like, they didn't, and even if they had, I still wouldn't have really cared. I'm glad they didn't try to like force these characters down our throats.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about them. Katara's being a little punk, and
Yeah.
Oh, just wait for the
she's
next
out
one.
there crying in a forest because my waterbending's not as strong as literal God. Ooh, like, what do you want? Like,
I
what do you
can't
expect
beat
me to do?
airbending Jesus.
Like, how, like, it would be like me trying to like play better music than Ryan, and Ryan is like a professional. Like, Ryan is a professional musician, or like me trying to edit things like Aaron does, or me
Edit.
trying to speak German like Nicole. Like, literally, everybody has their special skills, and I'm not gonna go whine and complain in a forest, and I'm not gonna go steal a freaking German to English dictionary so I can try to learn German better than Nicole. Like,
You should.
From Pirate.
from pirates of all
Yeah.
people. Like,
Hey, Nicole.
relax.
Hey, Nicole.
Yeah.
Ich ein Berliner.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the actual hell out of here.
It's also kind of hilarious that by the end of season 2, I know at the beginning of season 2, I know we're skipping ahead, but like Katara masters waterbending so much fucking faster than Aang that she becomes his teacher, and he never bitches about it. He's like,
No.
Sifu Katara. Yes, you got.
God damn! Why is Katara so much better than me at this? I was better than her for like all 10 minutes.
We were at the North Pole for the same amount of time. What the fuck?
Maybe I stopped dicking around for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when you were talking about this being a filler episode, is that really in the continuity of the show, it doesn't make sense for either of their characters.
Yeah, no,
Not really.
This is one of those episodes up top where I'm like, this probably could have been skipped or trimmed down super hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Or yeah, you didn't even really need it. Yeah.
We can head over to side B real quick, where we talk about the episode after this one, Jet, originally airing in May 6, 2005, directed by Dave Filoni and written by James Egan, his only solo writing credit. It was animated by JM Animation. There's some new cast members to add to the list: Sterling Yun as Pipsqueak, Mitch Hollerman as the Duke, Nika Futterman as Smellerby, and Crawford Wilson as how do you pronounce his name? Jet. I think it's Jet. Pretty sure it's Jet.
You're funny.
Actually, it's pronounced Jeet.
Oh, Jeet. Got it.
Got the-
Why must you disrespect the edgy boy like this?
Dude, can we talk about how Jet is like he'd be sitting at dinner with you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones and their daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and like she'd be like, "Hey, Daddy, pass the salt," and Jet and her dad reach for it at the same time. Like that is the type of dude Jet is.
Wait,
Like,
wait,
when
wait,
he
wait,
swing
wait.
down with the grass sticking out of his mouth. I'm like, are you for real?
Okay,
dog?
but correction though. You're at the table. Nicole, you're at the table. Jet's across from you, and so is
Yeah.
Iroh. Iroh's at the table too.
Oh damn.
You say, "Daddy, pass the salt." Which one is the daddy that passes the salt?
Oh wait, hold on. Is Zuko there too?
Sure, Zuko's
Oh.
also there.
Oh jeez. This is just a fanfic that I've written.
Oh no.
Have you been
no.
reading my diary? I mean,
What? I haven't written Zuko Jet fanfic. Who does
Oh,
that?
I ship that. I ship it.
Oh, I ship it so hard.
I ship it. Honestly, who would reach for the? I think they all would reach for the salt, but
Yeah.
and then I think Zuko and Jet would fight over it, and then Iroh would be
Exactly.
sitting there with you and be like, "Oh, boys will be boys are just boys, but I'm a man. Here's the salt, baby," and like, hand it to you. Like,
Did you just go into my brain and pick out what I was gonna say? Because like
yes,
that was
I got
exactly it. All right.
Got you.
This is a fun episode. I
Gets
like this
it.
already. Ryan, you have some fun facts for me.
I do. Avatar Extras stated that the fight between Aang and Jet in the trees was inspired by the Naruto and Samurai Champloo animes, as much of the fighting in Naruto takes place in the forest, with trees at least 6 stories high. And finally, Dave Filoni designed the forest and Jet's hideout. He's a huge fan of Star Wars. Yes. So the forest is a reference to the Ewoks village, forest village, in Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. In the
I hate this
original
episode.
Yeah, shut up. In the original sketches of the hideout, he even referred to the middle section of the trees where the hideout was located as the Ewok area. Contradictory to this, Avatar extras say that the forest was based on the film House of Flying Daggers.
So obviously it's based on something. They just don't know what.
Yeah.
Everybody has different creative impulses.
I say that this village is based on the Minecraft village I made when they released the jungle biomes, because I totally did that.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody did. It's amazing. Treehouse biome.
Mm-hmm.
was so good.
Jungle is basically just treehouse biome when you really think about it.
That's why I call it that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I got another brief synopsis here. We can jump into some questions. Are y'all ready for this?
Yes.
Yeah. Pump up the jams.
The game discusses Sokka's leadership just as a rogue new character appears to challenge it. Jet is a suave, clever, and strong rebel leader who lives in every child's dream home, an elaborate treehouse. They work day and night to make the Fire Nation soldiers eat shit, but they also take things a little too far, attacking an old man, which don't sit right with Sokka. Sokka catches them catches them on their plan to flood a nearby Fire Nation town. This gets Sokka in line for a pair of cement shoes, if you know what I'm saying. Jet enlists Aang and Katara to help by filling the reservoir with water before they blow the dam. They figure out Jet's mass murder plan and try to stop it, but it's too late and Jet gives the signal. Fearing they've killed innocent lives, Sokka arrives, escaping his child captors, and having gone to the town to warn everybody of impending doom. The town was evacuated and Jet's plan was a miserable failure, just like that Fire Nation prince.
Damn.
Oof. Can we discuss that Jet is like Peter Pan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jet
Yes.
is 100%
Is that-
a Peter Pan allegory.
Is he? Because that's kind of the vibe I was getting while I was watching that episode. Is that he is like you got the
Peter
Lost
Pan and the
Boys.
Lost Boys, yeah.
Mhm.
They're diddling the Fire Nation, aka or Captain Hook, you know. And
They needed a real Captain
They-
Hook for that, though, I think.
But the twist is that Jet kind of is Captain Hook because he has the hook swords.
And he's obsessed.
Hey.
And
Okay.
he's obsessed, yeah. And he's the fucking villain. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the
Can we talk about
antagonist.
how thirsty Katara is?
So this is the first episode that tries to ship Katara with anybody. So yeah, let's jump into that. Yay, nay.
Oh, it's the second one. What
Is
do
it
you
the
mean?
second one?
She tried to diddle that Earthbender dude in the first.
Oh,
Yeah, you know what? I
first
kind of write him off
Earthbender.
because he's sort of not inconsequential for like the longest time.
What's his name? Haru?
Haru, yeah.
Haru. Yeah, but she's still out trying to like slop on that knob. But
That's true.
but like, you're right. This is the first like real like.
It's
they are
explicit.
trying,
It's
like,
explicit.
Yeah, this is Katara like in the desert and she sees an oasis.
This is
like,
the one where Katara writes her own
Oh.
fanfic.
yeah,
Oof.
yeah.
Tara
Yeah.
finds that oasis and it's just juice, just straight, freaking like a wet paper towel hitting the floor, man.
Prove me wrong. Look at this
Oh,
episode and tell me no.
It's and in the fact that Aang is kind of just getting cucked, you know.
Yeah.
He
Oh
doesn't
my
even
God,
know it.
every
He's just
time.
there having a good time.
Exactly, that's what I'm
so
saying.
Here's the thing. But here's the thing. Like this episode reminds me again that Aang is 12 years old because he's just taken in with all these kids having a great time and doing what they can against Fire Nation. For him like Jet and Katara, that whole thing is flying so far above his head because it's how childlike he is at this moment.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I like that this episode comes before what the fuck is it? The fortune teller episode.
No, I think
Yeah.
the next one's the Great
Oh.
Divide.
Well, yeah, I think the next one's the Great Divide, and then the one after that is the fortune teller, yeah, or something like that.
Let me look.
Something
Let me
like
look.
that. Yeah.
But
Next week we're doing the Great Divide and the Storm.
oh,
That's the one I'm
Mhm,
most looking
mhm.
forward to. It'll be great.
But my point is that like it happens in a point, an early point of the story where Katara doesn't even see Aang that way. So it I don't feel as bad because she is a 14-year-old girl and Jet is like fucking dripping charisma, and she sees
That's
Aang
gross.
as a 12-year-old that she's helping like save the world. So
Yeah,
like I'm not
and-
mad at that.
Listen, if you're
Yeah.
if you're dripping charisma, make sure you take a shower. That's gross.
Oh, Katara
Dude,
will
it
take
ain't-
him a shower, all right.
Oh yeah, it's not a
Terrible.
drip, dude. He got the faucet on open, dude. That thing is flooding out.
I mean,
Ugh.
she is a 14-year-old girl, and he is, the antithesis of an edgy bad boy.
Absolutely,
God.
he's the guy who like goes and gets into a fight to save a girl's honor. You know, like oh, you don't disrespect her like that, and like punches
Yeah.
the guy in the face, right?
He's that
And-
kind of edgy boy where it's like an asshole with a heart of gold, because he's like, no,
Yes.
I'm doing this because my parents were killed by the Fire Nation. We have this connection here.
And can
And
we
I'm
discuss
just like,
how
I
she tries
see.
to one up him?
Oh my god, yeah.
So wait, how's she trying to one up? Yeah, how's she
He's like,
trying
he
to
goes
one
through the whole thing of like, yeah, the Fire Nation killed my parents, and she's like, yeah, my mom died in a Fire Nation raid, and then
Mhm.
she like, he doesn't talk about his parents, like she doesn't let him talk anymore. she
Yeah,
just
she
keeps
just
going.
takes over the conversation.
But here's the thing. Jet is never out of control of the situation except for Sokka, because Sokka's the only one who doesn't buy into his bullshit. So it actually doesn't even matter that she starts talking.
Actually, I think I think Jet wants her to.
I got her.
Yeah, Jet wants her to talk because that lures her in more.
Like he wants to hook you into his plans, and he's got every member of his team just wrapped around his finger so that he can command them to commit atrocities and attack elderly people, and they're like, yeah, the Fire Nation sucks.
It's a cult, basically.
Would you blame his underlings? Would you blame the underlings for them killing people and hurting people, or would that just be because their god asked them to? Right.
That's true.
Just asking for a friend, buddy. Asking for a friend.
That's true. I mean, the Fire Nation raided his village, killed his parents, and God just comes to him in this ray of light and tells him to do.
Okay, so we've got to invite Nicole back for the season finale, so that way I can defend my honor, because I want to go into a long explanation as to what the fuck I meant when I said that last week, and I'm never gonna live it down.
So Nicole, you have an open invite for every episode. Whenever you can get back on, I'll take it.
Whenever I don't have D&D.
That's fair. That's fair.
Dude, that's fair.
I have to commit war crimes.
But no. To go back to it though, Jet is basically a salesman. That when you really think about it, he is letting Katara speak to get more information on her, to really know how to manipulate her better. Because Aang, he's done. He doesn't need manipulation. He's just a kid. He'll just go on with whatever. And he can't sell on Sokka. Sokka is the high D. He will not fucking.
He does try, though.
He tries.
He actually starts to get him until the elderly thing happens, and Sokka's like, "Wait, no, you fucking sociopath! What are you doing?"
So I guess
he almost gets Sokka too. Almost.
Sokka is the unsung hero of this episode.
Of the series.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Hold on. Aaron, finish your thought, because I have a whole thing that I want to say on Sokka and on Jet, honestly. But what were you saying?
So Sokka's the unsung hero of the series, and I guess this leads me to my question I have on the top of the list here. Does Sokka deserve to be shit on so hard by his friends? Why or why not?
Fine, go ahead.
Okay, so throughout the rest of the season, or throughout the first part of the season, he's obviously been played up for comedic relief, but it's in this episode that his skills actually really do start to shine, and he's not just but the thing that kills me about this whole episode is that if Katara and Aang had been left to their own devices, an entire town would be dead. But Sokka single-handedly saves an entire town. And they do not say I'm sorry at the end. They specifically do not say they're sorry at the end, and that pissed me off.
They specifically dunk on him
again.
Yet again.
It's like, you're going the wrong way. Like, motherfucker, just give me this. God damn it.
No,
never. Can't give Sokka a win. Not until season 3.
He hasn't suffered enough.
I mean, even season 2, he kind of gets a win. The whole library thing.
That's
true. He totally owns it there.
That's true.
So I guess jumping around a little bit here, what are your thoughts on the Freedom Fighters as a whole? Ignoring Jet, we'll get to him in a minute, but Freedom Fighters, any standouts to you? Anyone you like there? Just the layer? Anything else you want to bring up?
I like the Pipsqueak and the Duke. That was kind of a good meme, a little, a cute little thing. I don't know. I felt like I said earlier, it's Peter Pan and the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. You have them all shapes, sizes, and color, and all that stuff. I mean, they all have different skills, and that's what it is. For me, at least.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely seem like your side characters in an RPG who aren't like the main character, so they're obviously all going to be like a little one-dimensional, a little unimportant, but they're all still fun. So.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of main characters in your RPG party, let's talk about Jet. What are your thoughts on Jet as a character that we haven't touched on yet, or have we kind of nailed that one pretty good?
Jet is Mr. Steel Girl. Jet is like
Yes.
Dean from Supernatural.
Yeah, no, I could see that. That.
Anybody here watches Supernatural?
Yep.
Like, he the type of guy that roll up into town,
Mm-hmm.
just hit up a lady, be like, "Hey, what's up, gorgeous?" Hit her up at a bar, take her to his cheap, $30 motel, and then leave her there and leave in the morning. Like that. That's Jet.
Yeah.
And
that girl is Katara.
Yeah, it is. That naive girl from the Midwest, or from in this case from the South Pole.
Oh, yeah, you've seen it 1,000 times.
Yep. So many
Feels
girls from the
bad,
South
man.
Pole.
Yeah.
It's a little time.
Yep.
But
Straying slightly away from the romantic aspect, though. This episode is actually surprisingly important in the meta, like in a meta context, because it introduces two very important aspects for me. It introduces the fact that the war is not all black and white, because while of course nobody deserves to have the Fire Nation like run up in there and like try to conquer the entire world. Nobody deserves that. But we're introduced to villainous characters that aren't the Fire Nation. In fact, that are the people that the Fire Nation have oppressed. So you get a shade of gray in regards to this war that's been pretty pretty black and white from like up until this point. So it adds a layer of complexity that the show hasn't had up until this point, and I love that. And B, this is for me personally, this is the episode where the combat kicks it up a notch.
Oh, you mean the animation?
Because the fight in the trees between Aang and Jet, the animation like really steps up. I remember I've been trying to find the point where it goes from the fights at the beginning, which were okay but not like amazing, to like starting to show those shades of brilliance that they're going to achieve, and for me, this is it. But it also introduces the fact that non-benders can be as effective in combat as benders, because Jet beats Aang. That's huge.
Yeah,
he beats the only airbender one-on-one combat.
He straight up no sells like an air blast, like multiple times.
Seriously, without Jet, really, May and
Ty Lee,
they don't. You don't have the basis for those characters to really be believable, especially to be running around with like one of the most powerful benders that the show will see. Like, they're running around running exactly with her, and Jet is the one that sets the precedent, because you have one dude fighting the only airbender and winning, and the only reason he actually gets stopped is because Katara hits him from behind, and because Sokka takes care of the villagers. Otherwise, Jet's plan would have gone off without a hitch.
Which is scary to think about too.
I mean, oh yeah, absolutely. I agree with what you said there, Ryan. That like he really does introduce a shade of gray into the show. One might even say 50 Shades of Gray into the show. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
I applaud you.
Same here.
That was good. Oh.
But yeah, for a quote unquote filler episode, this it's a very important episode in the meta context of the show for me. And that was really surprising thinking about.
I would almost argue this isn't even really a filler episode,
out
though.
Of this world.
I would argue.
So what?
I would argue this isn't really much of a filler episode. I think there's actually quite a bit of plot to it. Like, it definitely, it's probably your least plotty episode for sure. But it introduces Jet, who will become pivotal later in season 2.
Yeah.
It introduces, or I guess not introduces, but it gives Sokka a moment to prove like how good he is. And it, like you said, sets the precedent for non-benders to actually be a legitimate threat to characters like Aang and Katara, who, let's face it, they shouldn't be a threat, but when you see someone this skilled, yeah, it's gonna happen. I would say this definitely... This, when we were originally talking about episode scheduling, this is one of those episodes I struggled with in terms of whether it's filler or not, because for me, if Zuko's in it, it's not filler. If he's not in it, then it probably is. But this one doesn't, and yet it still feels like a actual, like, real, like, plot-heavy episode almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like the Kyoshi Warriors.
I'd say it's
Kyoshi
even,
Island.
I'd say it's even more like on the notes than Kyoshi Warriors. Like, it's still good, but I think it's like it's even deeper. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think both of them are quotes. They're filler because they don't directly impact the plot and move it forward, but they both impact and have very rippling effects throughout the rest of the series.
They both plant the seeds of stuff to come.
Speaking of Jet, though, is Jet right to destroy the village, or is it a step too far?
Too far.
Yeah, it's too far. It's too far. Like, Jet is a terrorist. Jet is actually a terrorist, guys.
He's an eco-terrorist, I mean.
Yeah.
So a menace to society. I understand completely.
Yeah,
well, like, I mean, do the ends justify the means?
That's more what I'm getting
Is
at,
collateral damage acceptable in any form? Like, if you know that there's a person here who has the ability to kill 100,000 people, and the only way to kill that person is by killing 1,000 of innocent people, does the ends justify the means? Like, will saving that 100,000 people by killing the 1,000, I mean, does that shake out? And that's a very big question, especially when you start talking about like world geopolitical issues, and geopolitical climates of the entire world, and even just now, which it is hard. I mean, that's why the people who make those decisions are a lot smarter than I am. Because, man, could you imagine being the guy who has to make the call, like, yeah, we're gonna blow up this town because there's a guy there who has access to nuclear weapons, and he's going to use them on a city over in a different country. Like, he's going to do something terrible and kill potentially 1 million people. But if we do this now, yeah, we're going to kill 1,000 people, unfortunately, but we'll save those 1 million people in the end. And that's the really hard part. And I think that this show does a really good job of showing that no, sometimes the ends don't justify the means, which I think is very fair in a lot of cases. And I think that as a society and as a world, we're very much conditioned more to believe that the ends justify the means, where you don't necessarily, if you don't have all the information, or if you're not in the right mindset, like, for example, Jet is obsessed. Like, he's he's crazy. I mean, legitimately, and you can see it in the towards the end of the episode, and then again later on when he appears again, he's insane. Yeah. And you can see he's just unhinged, and that's what happens when you give power to somebody who's unhinged. As a not to get political, but as you can see with some of the things going on in the world nowadays, when you give power to somebody who is unhinged, typically bad things happen.
I wonder how
that the ends.
I was gonna say, I wonder how Jet would do. I wonder how Jet would do in that HBO interview.
Well, you see, this graph right here shows that the Fire Nation is very high. High means bad. And yeah, so
I've talked to a lot of friends, and a lot of my friends say that the graphs are really good graphs, and
they're the best.
The higher numbers, best graphs, and I have a lot of really good friends, a lot of really smart friends. Hot damn!
I can see it now.
I don't know how anyone okayed that interview to happen. I'm glad it happened, but I'm just surprised no one stopped him. But whatever. We're getting way off topic there. So, last question for this episode. Would you have expected, ignoring your future knowledge, by the way, would you have expected to see any of these freedom fighters again after this episode?
Knowing, like, just from what I have seen, erasing any future knowledge, I don't know if I would expect to see them again, but I would hope so.
Yeah, they're interesting characters. I would be down to see them again, but it would be definitely something I wouldn't see coming.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think I would, actually. Just ignoring, like, future knowledge and whatever's happening, I think that Jet is too well developed of a character and too like he's just too like good. He's just too effective. And the fact that they leave him like alive and like bound and his plans foiled, like the amount of effort that went into making that character like really interesting, I would think it would be a waste if we didn't see him again.
And that episode with the with the better animation and stuff, yeah. I think I think I agree with Nicole and Aaron. Like I remember not expecting to see them ever again. I agree with you, Ryan. Now looking back, I can't imagine they would give somebody that much I guess
effort.
Like effort. Thank you,
Yeah.
Aaron. You know, if they did never intend on them coming back, but definitely I would say I wouldn't see him coming back. I mean, it was very much a shock when, spoilers, he does.
Yeah.
You know,
which launches another ship.
You know, I don't know what's going to happen with these characters, if I'm going to be honest, but you know what I think would be cool is to see Jet fight Zuko. They both have two swords. I mean, it'd be cool. I don't think it's
that'd be really cool.
I don't think it's going to happen,
Don't
but
they
yeah.
fight?
Boy, I have news for you. You're gonna have to keep watching to find out.
Oh, whoops, my bad. Sometimes I'm really dumb and don't understand context clues.
It's all right. We're all dumb. We make one idiot when we're together.
The collective idiot. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Collective.
They still continue.
Mm-hmm.
25% of a functioning brain cell.
See, you get it. You get it.
Like Voltron, we all, with our powers combined, we form the power of one functioning brain cell.
Damn, you got brain cells?
I said 0.25 of a brain cell, Chief. I don't know what you think.
That's more than what I got, man. You hogging all the brain cell.
So that's all I have for questions. Was there anything else in this episode you all wanted to bring up?
I said my piece.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. Looking over my notes, just the fight sequence and how Jet's a badass and how just my future ship of Zuko and Jet. Just like I want that.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd ever write that in. That'd be ridiculous.
No, I want it. Yeah.
That'll be in the
I've already
comics.
mapped out a scene where their eyes meet and just that anime moment of cherry blossoms comes raining down.
Well, no. So what would happen is they would see each other, but they'd both like be very like against the idea at first. So it'd be like Kaguya-sama Love is War, where the two of them just are automatically just trying to one up each other over everything without realizing.
It has to.
Without realizing
Yeah,
they
we
don't
have
feels.
to do the trope enemies to lovers, and that makes it so much better.
I like to imagine though that they're both like from like King of the Hill style households, like super conservative, you know. And he.
Well,
you
we know
they're
Zuko
both
is.
like, no, that's a sin. Homosexuality is a sin. We ain't gonna. No, I don't feel nothing for that man. And then like eventually he like gives in, and then they're like, oh no, that was just a mistake. It was just a one-time thing, and then they give back in, and they're like, oh.
Zuko, what you doing, boy? You gotta be selling that propane.
Gotta be selling that propane accessories.
So what I'm hearing is Zuko and Jet Brokeback Mountain.
There's gotta be a better name for that.
Yes.
Yep.
Fireback Mountain.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
Let's see.
It's a
You gotta
working
think
title.
about that. It's a working title. I'll come up
Yeah.
with something better.
Well,
I gotta.
Yeah, we'll write up the script. It'll be great.
Well, if you in the audience have a suggestion for our weird fanfic names, please leave them down in the comments below. You can also reach out to us by Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook. Tumblr, I know you guys are ready for this one. Just throw us what you
Right.
got. Just do it.
Tumblr,
Fire
come
jet
on.
mount.
I know you have all this ready. I know you have the animations done. Just like shoot them over.
Yeah.
And if Tumblr's not your
Yes,
Tumblr, I'm looking right at you. I'm seeing.
if Tumblr's not your speed, you can also email us directly. Ryan, where can they email us those fanfics directly?
They can email us those fanfics at a tale of two swords.
Oh.
No, sorry. Sorry.
Oh.
The layers.
That's evacstation at gmail.com.
I appreciate that
Oh.
because of how many
Yeah,
layers
there's
that
a
joke
lot
there
of
is.
this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they'll battle with swords, all right.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot of this on. Oh, that's not good. Man, that's on my search history now. Oh boy.
Oh man, you on the
kids.
same list I'm on.
Kids, don't look that up. If you are under the age of 18 years old, this is a warning. We are not condoning looking at pornography or anything because it's illegal until you're 18 years of age or older. So
But do it because it's cool.
don't do that. But if you really want to, just turn off your safe search filter. It's pretty easy, and then you'll get some interesting results.
While you're in between
can say
masturbations, let's
that.
go ahead and talk about the ranking of this episode.
You assumed Ryan stopped?
Ryan.
Sorry,
It's
what?
just been-
So,
Ryan's just been
Oh,
going.
right, we're ranking. We're,
Yep,
we're,
yep.
we're ranking the episodes, right?
yep, yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, where do we want to rank this episode at? These episodes at?
Ryan, go ahead.
So the waterbending scroll is going to be a bronze for me.
Yeah.
Because it's a true filler. It was enjoyable when I watched it. It was still fun, but like in terms of the quality of the show in general, it's pretty much at the bottom of the barrel. So that's okay. They can't all be amazing. Jet, however, I'm going to give a solid gold. Solid gold. It introduces very complex plots. Like it introduces shades of gray to the conflict thus far. We get our first really competent non-bender, and we get Sokka getting to be a fucking G and saving the day.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sokka, the last mindbender.
There you go.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go next. I'm gonna agree with Ryan. A water scroll, low bronze, as low as of an episode. Oh, what did you just put on my screen?
What?
How did you do that?
Why'd you do
Don't
it?
Don't ever do that again.
Do what?
Ah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
God better do
For
it.
anybody listening, somebody
Right?
just put some Rule 34 up on the screen a little bit there.
That's no
That's not
nudity.
Rule
It's fine.
34.
It's
There's
fine.
no nudity.
no.
I kept it
Oh,
clean.
God. I kept it tasteful. But I would say hard bronze, like just absolute bottom of the barrel. I would probably say that's going to be my worst rated episode. Well,
Wait till next
we
week.
got the great divide coming up. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Can we
that's
just
a
make
new
that-
low.
Yeah, second lowest bronze. And then for this, I'm gonna agree with Ryan again. I'm gonna go with the gold. Not necessarily for the same reasons. I like how this shows that the characters can become unhinged. I mean, this is really the first character. I mean, obviously you have the Mad King Boomy, but like he's funny, it's kooky. But like
This guy's
Jet
like
is
Batman
unhinged.
villain unhinged.
Yeah.
like yeah, and it's I'm just like okay. Oh no, stop it right now.
Stop doing what? The audience can't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
I just stopped looking at my screen. That way I don't have to
know.
see it.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, that's what I would go. I'd go low bronze, and then I would give it a solid gold for the next.
Nicole, where are you at?
Let's see.
She's
For
looking
the-
at some other stuff. She can't.
What?
She
Please, I've been doing this long enough. I can multitask. So for the pirates, I would rank that as just throw it in the trash, burn the trash can, and just never think about it ever again.
Fair.
Hey.
Yeah. Yep. As far as Jet, yes. Is there a problem?
No, it's far from a problem. I need more.
I'm assuming you're giving Jet a gold here.
I am giving him a gold.
Okay.
It is, as far as like the fandom goes, what I'm looking at here, that's chef's kiss.
I like how we haven't even gotten to that episode yet. You're already giving it the chef's kiss. To round things off, I will agree with pretty much everybody else. The Pirates episode, bronze. It's not memorable in any real capacity. And then Jet, I was honestly going into this one thinking it'll probably be a silver for me, but no, I think I've been convinced. There's a lot going on here that's a little deeper than you'd expect, and the moralities behind it are also just interesting to discuss. And it's a kids show. It goes in directions that most kids shows don't, which is awesome. So solid gold for me, almost a platinum, almost. But next week we will be definitely hitting that platinum level. I think pretty hard. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, the Great Divide is 100% a platinum.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
So tune in next week for episodes 11 and 12. Oh, shit. And we'll see you after the credits and after all this porn gets off my computer.
What porn?
Bye, goodbye,
Nothing is showing.
I
don't know what you're talking about. Guys, what are you talking about here?